What's good, YouTube? The Penguin back here again with another video. Today, we're checking out some anime hot takes. I went on Reddit to see what the people are cooking up. This one's kind of a year old, so might have some relevant takes, might not. Should be some evergreen stuff anyway. But we just want to see what the people are saying. I'll just tell you what I think of the hot takes. We can make this a series. If you guys like this, you can start commenting your own hot takes, and I'll take your hot takes and use them for future videos. But for now, we're just checking out Reddit, see what they're saying. Maybe we'll check out my anime list or Quora or something, or Twitter, I guess, for future videos. But let's see what Reddit's talking about. Okay, so the first hot take we have here from all sorts of people here, and they're saying, following seasonals is a subpar way of watching anime. You miss out on the superior BD versions, and watching at a pace of one episode a week is almost never ideal. A lot of anime are better binged, and even the ones that should be watched at a slower pace are still probably better watched at a not much slower than one episode every few days. The only advantages are for avoiding spoilers and being able to take part in discussion. Except, most seasonal discussion is pretty surface level, and going against the consensus opinions is rarely fruitful. One-line jokes almost always make up the top comments on discussion threads, and the best discussion I see are in rewatch threads. Those are actually worth reading, especially for anime with lots of subtitles. Though I'm considering this a hot take based on how many people follow seasonals rather than how likely I am to get downvoted. Okay, this one's interesting. If you want to say the biggest debate in anime is sub versus dubbed, which I don't really think is a true debate in 2024, I think honestly binging versus watching weekly is probably the second biggest debate in anime. Maybe not actively, but there's a decent amount of people I think that choose to do either. And not even just in anime. I think this is an issue with media as a whole right now in the streaming model. So you have platforms like Netflix, Prime, HBO Max, Disney Plus, Hulu, whatever. And the original model of platforms like that were to drop batches, 8 episodes, 10 episodes all at once. And this is completely different from TV, which we're watching weekly for however many weeks. Now, and people seem to love that at the time, but now the streaming model has turned into weekly releases, which is more reminiscent of TV. So really, we've kind of come full circle. The streaming platforms get you to reel you in for multiple months subscription instead of just one, so it's more financially beneficial for them. But even for the shows, it does actually give you more discussion if something's happening week to week. It's just true. Although I love a cheeky binge or whatever, I will admit, when shows are dropped all at once, it does kind of limit the window of a show's discussion, unless it becomes a mega hit, like something like Squid Game. That dropped all at once. I watched that as soon as it came out, pretty much. Yet, however, Squid Game was having months of discussion afterwards because it became pretty much the biggest show of all time on Netflix. So there is potential for a show to go massive with the single drop. However, I do think the weekly discussion is a valuable part of watching shows. And to reel it back to anime, because I kind of went on a crazy tangent there. When we're talking about anime discussion, the weekly discussion is a big part of the anime community. Maybe not back in the day, or maybe it always was on forums, even when it was more niche subculture. But these days, anime has become one of the major subcultures on the internet, essentially, and relatively mainstream in some circles. And having weekly discussion is massive for the hype of some of these shows and the life of some of these shows. So I do think, while some shows, don't get me wrong, I would love to binge, and I do say some shows each season, to the end of the season, to binge them, because it's kind of a hassle to keep up with too many shows at once. Some shows, if they didn't have that weekly discussion, I don't think would have the following that they have now. Take JJK for an example. Last year, JJK took over the anime fandom, or just the internet in terms of anime, for half a year. 6 months straight, online discussion was straight JJK. And even before that, JJK was big, don't get me wrong. First season was hype. The manga readers have been yapping about the show for years, about the manga for years. But once they hyped up this Shibuya arc, and it actually came out, and week to week we're getting amazing fights, amazing scenes, the story's going crazy, week after week after week. every week you have people jumping online immediately to discuss the show. And that took JJK from being one of the biggest new shows coming out of Shonen Jump to being the biggest new show coming out of Shonen Jump. You'd be hard pressed to say JJK isn't the biggest show in anime right now. Obviously you have the legacy shows like One Piece, which is still ongoing, AOT, which only just wrapped up last year. But in terms of that show that everyone talks about and that even non-anime fans hear about, it went from being Attack on Titan, which was for years it became, especially since the pandemic, Attack on Titan became the show that anime fans used to reel in non-anime fans, and then it became one of the biggest shows, period. But MAPPA has just passed the baton from Attack on Titan to JJK being the biggest current show. Obviously, now we're gonna have to wait for JJK season 3, but even online, I know you've seen it because I've seen it. I've luckily not gotten actually spoiled, but I've seen what's trending, and the manga is trending week to week. People just chomping at the bit to spoil. Oh, this is happening. You gotta really avoid that like the plague online, which is insufferable. I'm not gonna lie, but it doesn't change the fact. It's almost proof that JJK is the biggest IP in anime and manga right now. And I think that is directly a result of the weekly discussion. So subpar, I can see what this person's saying in terms of binging being beneficial for certain shows and the pacing of anime. I think that's actually a really good point. Some shows, the pacing just makes way more sense on a binge. The same kind of thing with manga. At least manga, you can blitz a chapter and you're like, okay, next week. I don't really love reading manga week to week either, but with anime, it can be rough week to week if where they leave episodes off, then the pacing has to get weird because they want each episode to pull you into the next one, and it's not always a natural stopping point for that. So some shows do benefit from a binge. A lot of shows do benefit from a binge. I see what they're saying, but I disagree with the point that discussions aren't enough of an advantage. I think for certain shows, discussion made the show, and that's a big thing for a lot of these shows to go from decently popular to extremely popular, or even just from not that popular to averagely popular. That's a massive thing for these shows, and I think that's a massive thing for the community as a whole. So I'm not gonna hate on watching shows weekly. Okay, from X Metalhead X6. Okay, hold up. I don't know what's going on with this one, but we got an interesting one here from this user. It might be bait, rage bait, I don't know, but he's saying once AOT lost the mystery behind the Titans, it became less interesting. Now, this could be controversial, considering AOT is one of the biggest shows, I guess, ever at this point, one of the biggest anime ever. And a year ago, when this was said, this is before the anime wrapped up, in the midst of all the season 4 part 80, whatever. And this may have just been bait, but I low-key agree with this take. Don't hate me. AOT is one of my favorite shows too, like everyone else. But I will say, for me, the best part of AOT, easily, like it's not even close, is season 3 part 2. Season 3 part 2 is actually peak fiction. Like, I know people throw around peak fiction loosely with this show, that show, whatever. There are very few experiences in media in general, all of fiction, that surpass or even rival the experience of watching Attack on Titan season 3 part 2. The mystery that built up to that, and then the way it's executed, the way everything unraveled, the battle of Shinganshina, whatever you say it, the battle with the Beast Titan, the whole war climaxing there. Then, yeah, Levi versus Beast Titan, and then you go to the basement, you find out about the past. Like, everything that unravels in that season. Oh, I'm skipping over stuff. You got Erwin's, spoiler, but honestly at this point you should watch AOT or Reddit or something. It's been finished for almost a year. Erwin's death, his final march, like Armin getting roasted and toasted, they're getting burnt to a crisp. Then the battle and the conflict between the group for who to bring back, everything about that part is peak fiction, peak AOT, and it's that hinged on the mystery and then the delivery on that mystery. Obviously they couldn't stop there because of what the mystery led to, and don't get me wrong, I think season 4 is still great. People started to hate on season 4. I know people hate on the ending. I'm not gonna hate on the ending. I don't think it's the best ending of all time. I think it's definitely serviceable, and I'm not mad at it. It was a little goofy in some ways, but I do think it was still, season 4 still had some amazing moments. It just became interesting in a different way. I will say less interesting. I do agree with the take, because what led up to season 3 part 2 and how season 3 part 2 executed that, it's going to be very hard to maintain that level of storytelling. But season 4 and all its parts did have some amazing story, some amazing plot lines. It became such a political and war, like the intrigue of it was still super strong. And then you get into the other mysteries. There were other mysteries. They weren't as strong as the mystery of the Titans, but there were other mysteries. And then you get into Grisha's past and Eren and the whole timeline and Eren in his father's ear. Like all of that, it's still amazing. I'm not gonna say it was terrible or anything. And this person isn't saying that either. So I'm gonna have to agree with them, as even though the wording might make it seem like it's a bit controversial. Actually, I went to go check the replies on this take. It's pretty interesting. This person says, I have the same opinion as you. It's the OP, I guess. Season 1 and 2 was a peak for me. This person also replied saying, I think the peak AOT was season 3 part 1, but after that things got stupid real quick. It's actually insane rewatching season 1 how much diluted the Titans. It's insane rewatching season 1 how much the diluted the Titans. Okay, it's not me. This is just poorly typed. The Titans in past seasons. I wouldn't go so far as to call it a horror anime. The Titans all have the makings of a good horror monster with how threatening they are. Then they should become throwaway soldier fodder. Okay, I'm not gonna go into all that, but I just wanted to say this is pretty interesting that this person has season 1 and 2 as the peak. This person has season 3 part 1 as the peak. I have season 3 part 2 as the peak, but none of us have season 4 as the peak. Obviously, this is biased because of because of the top comment here, what it's replying to. But it's interesting to see how much it varies, and that just shows the show's peak as a whole. I will say season 2, fair enough, because season 2 you get the reveal, like the reveal with the armor and the colossal titan, and that scene still to this day, no matter how many times I watch it on YouTube just randomly, I still get goosebumps from the way that was executed. That's one of the best executed plot twists I've seen in all the fiction. But I would still have to say season 3 part 2 is peak. Okay, here we have a take from a deleted user which says Naruto should have given up on Sasuke after part 1. I actually think this take's pretty funny, and I actually agree. Don't get me wrong, I think Shippuden is amazing too. Obviously it has its lows, but it has some really high highs, and I think it gets too much flack these days. The ending, like the final boss and all that, not the best, but a lot of Shippuden is driven by Naruto still going after Sasuke. So he also spelled Sasuke wrong, that's tough. But obviously you don't get a lot of that story without that. But realistically, if we're just talking about what Naruto should have done, like outside of him being this altruistic person who's whatever, I want my friend, whatever. Realistically, okay, we got some playing going by, hate to see it. But realistically, like, it did get kind of annoying. This man Sasuke was not having any of it. He wanted to do his own thing, let him do his own thing. Like, bro didn't really care about y'all all that much because he was dogging you every opportunity he could get. Yet y'all were still going after him. Sakura isn't even in this comment, but you too. That was annoying too. I ain't want to just dunk on her like everyone else does, but that was annoying too. Naruto, you were annoying too. Maybe you should have given up on him. And we got another one here right below the Naruto comment that says from SM Smith 230. The best part of Chainsaw Man were the slice of life moments. Now this is interesting. because I actually do think the slice of life moments in Chainsaw Man are really enjoyable, especially because of how season 1 was paced. I haven't read the manga. I'm not caught up. I'm waiting for season 2. Well, I guess the movie and then season 2. But from what I've heard from manga readers, season 2 is going to be a breakneck pace. And season 1 was just really laying the groundwork for, I guess, what's coming next. I will say, to say the best part, I got to think about that, because we're not going to just downplay. I'm not saying this person's doing that, but we're not just going to downplay how wild the action scenes in Chainsaw Man were. I wouldn't say it's even Mappa's best work necessarily, but it was in the art direction, the styling, all of that was amazing. But the action scenes in Chainsaw Man were unbelievably good, and I think they rival the slice of life moments. I'm actually not mad at this take though. I'm not mad at this take. The slice of life moments really did make the series in a way, making you care about these characters and being more invested in them, and it makes it hurt even more when things happen. If a character dies or anything like that, things hurt even more because the slice of life moments built up these characters. So I'm not mad at this take. These are supposed to be hot takes, but they're not crazy. Not a hot take, just facts. We're seeing so many series try to emulate the success of Chainsaw Man, but fail to realize that it's the slice of life moments that give it its heart. Okay, fair enough. Alright, I ain't mad at what these guys are saying. Salty145. Maybe Chainsaw Man is just a slice of life anime with some action sprinkled in. Maybe that's the truth. Slice of life spinoff with the main trio. Maybe that's income. We'll see. Okay, here we got one from The Reaping Fields that says, people who can't watch older anime because their precious little eyes can't deal with the resolutions under 1440p need to stop being such an artless, uncultured bunch of cretins. Okay, go crazy in The Reaping Field. You felt a type of way and you said it, and I ain't mad at that. Do your thing and go back and watch anime from the old days with open minds and willing hearts. Okay, this one, you shot your shot. You said we want your hot takes. The Reaping Field said, here go 2 more for y'all. Okay, I don't really know if this is a... Now I think about this, I don't really know if this is even a hot take. What are you just saying, go back and watch old anime? I guess some people are saying they can't watch old anime because they're basically just graphics merchants, where it's not up to modern standards in terms of resolution. Fair enough. There's something about the charm in old anime that it can't really be recreated today, outside of a select few, but it's a little too sanitized. There's something about old anime that new anime just doesn't have, is style. Some anime obviously have it. Some anime have style in abundance still to this day, but some old shows, it's just like they're just dripping with style, and that style comes through even through freaking 2p resolution. You don't care. The art direction, the art style, like things like that, the world. There's something about those older shows that can't really be recreated today, or at least it's been abandoned in a sense. See what the replies are saying though. Harsh but true. Salty145. Salty145 is all over this thing. God damn. Okay, I was actually about to stop, but I saw this one from Elite Alice down here, and it caught my eye. Oregairu. I don't even want to finish that statement before I get clipped out of context. That's cap. Oregairu is a good show. Watch it if you haven't. It's a little bit maybe out there in terms of slice of life, romance, drama. I don't know. It's a little more involved in the thought-provoking nature of it, and maybe it's a little overdone at times, maybe, but it's a great show. When they finally released the final season, I was just gassed. I really enjoyed it. The art style change and everything. It's a great show. This is cap. Let's see what the reply is saying. Hopefully they agree with me. Salty145. I'm not alone. What is up with Salty145, bro? What's going on with you, bro? You have literally nothing better to do than just comment on everybody's hot take. Or you're not even the OP. You just lurking. You live in our anime or something, bro. Salty145, you are salty. You're salty about everything. God damn. I don't even remember what your other replies were. Maybe you're not that salty. Well, on this one, I'm mad because you're not agreeing. Fair enough. You don't like Oregairu? I actually don't care that much in reality, but golly, you don't have to be so excited with the exclamation point. And then I look over to the right, and this dude's asking, can anyone recommend me good anime with hot girls? What is going on here, bro? I mean, fair enough. You know what you like, you know what you're looking for, and you know where to find it. You know people on Reddit are gonna have those in abundance. But golly, you could just look that up on Google, bro. You could just Google hot anime girls on Google. Maybe you just like the plot too. Fair, whatever. I'm getting mad for no reason. This was fun. Definitely gonna do more of these. That's it for today, though. If you have some hot takes of your own, drop them in the comments. Let me know what you want me to react to. If you enjoyed this, you can look forward to more of them. And I'll check other sites too, see what they're saying. But for now, that's gonna be it. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'd appreciate it. Shouldn't take too much of your time, hopefully. There should be a new video out same time next week. I appreciate you watching once again, and see ya.